Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, folks. We're paying you at this man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, they just had the wrap up for the prejudging for the Steve Carr show. I guess popped out. She might pop back in, and it was a pretty good show. I watched it. I shout out to the ladies who are competing at this. A couple ladies, my dear friend Janine Kowski is competing today, and shout out to those ladies who I've interviewed who's doing the show. So, and also one lady I interviewed a while back, she competed at the Romania Muscle Fest for the amateur qualification, but not enough bodies and seeking the pro card. Right now, my guest just popped out on me. I don't know what's going on. We'll give it a few minutes. It could be some problems on my side. Let me check something out real quick. But she is a pro IFBB pro bikini competitor. Her name is Nacone Martin, and we're waiting for Miss Martin. I don't know if it's a issue with me or issue with her. So let me check something real quick. And right here, and she was here. I don't know. Hello. I don't know. It might be hello. Folks. Give a few minutes. Technical difficulties. We were talking pretty good before we started, but I don't know what happened. Well, folks, as while we wait to get her situation straight out, let her come back for a bit. So, folks, just finished watching the Titan Grand Prix. I'm not sorry, Titan Grand Prix. The Steve Carr Pro Classic. She's back, and I would do discussion on it later. So we got her back here. So let's take two. So, folks, as we have here the lovely IFB Pro, Miss Nacone Martin. She turned pro just this summer at the North Americans in bikini division. I know you guys, you prefer the big, buff, beautiful bodybuilders. She's a bodybuilder, but it's not a division. I know a lot of the guys are, guys, they like the big muscular women, but she's a lovely lady. She has a great physique, and we want to hear a story of what got her started and what got her passion for bodybuilding. So welcome, madam, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem, not a problem. So this is a question I ask you ladies. What got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
So my story is at the age of 26, I walked into the gym for the very first time. I had lost my mother. I had very, very low self-esteem. Didn't like the way I looked because I was like 120 pounds, like straight up and down, stick figure. So a friend of mine suggested that I go to the gym to help me feel better, mind, body, and soul. Joined the gym, and the community in my gym was amazing. I come from a pretty well-known gym in my area of Trenton, New Jersey called Man's World Gym, where a lot of bodybuilders came out of that and a lot of bodybuilders that competed. So, I got busy. I started powerlifting with men and just getting into learning how to basically lift weights. And pretty soon I started to develop some muscle. And then people got in my ear about, well, you should think about competing. But during my day, bikini was not even available. It was just straight bodybuilding for women. So that was a little bit too hard for me. Didn't really want to push myself like that. And the diet scared me because I always laugh. The bodybuilders in my gym, they were eating boiled chicken, drinking raw eggs. And I was like, yeah, that is not the life that I want. They were mean, they were irritable. I was like, nah, not doing that. So years later, I stayed in the gym, kept building muscle, became a personal trainer, did all those things. And I have a cousin, shout out to him, Kevin White, who is also like my brother. one day he just decided out of nowhere that he was going to compete. And he also was this skinny, tall, skinny guy, no muscle. So he pretty much transformed, started competing. He competed for the first couple of times on his own, no coach, no opposing coach. And I watched him over the next several years just developing the sport. And I actually went to like his first show and I was like, wow. So I was like, yeah, maybe one day, but I always laugh at myself because I'm always like, never say never. So when I went to his show for the first time, it was the first time I saw the Bikini women. And when they did the back pose, I was like beside myself. I was like, what? I was like, oh my God, that is like the most degrading thing that you could do as a woman. They're literally sticking their butts out. Like, what is this? And I'm like, I don't know if this is for me, dog. I don't know. So I don't know. All of a sudden, I just got the bug of watching my cousin, and I was like, you know what? Why not? I was about to turn 50, and I said, oh, what a great way to celebrate turning 50 is just to do a competition. One and done. That's it. I just want to do it one time, see what it is, what it feels like, and I'm going to move on in life. So I did that. At the time, the person he was dating was a coach, so I got with her. COVID delayed me 1 year, so I just kept training. And at the age of what was I, 51, and I guess that was like 2021, I popped out in my first show. I think I did the Pennsylvania Muscle. Everybody was basically coming back from COVID. And I remember saying, well, I'm going to do every category I can do because I'm one and done. So I had some sponsors. I'm just going to ball out. So, I did my category. I might have did like another category, and I definitely did open. And my coaches deterred me from doing open because they were like, I don't know, because you're going to be competing against a lot of younger women. Everybody's coming back from COVID. It's probably going to be smacked. I don't want you to be upset, get your feelings hurt if you don't do well. Well, lo and behold, this little girl out of like 15 or 16 girls, way younger than me, she came in second place. So I was like, wow, in the whole process, the whole journey from the prep to the working out, the dieting, I just loved. And I loved to really be able to see how far I could push myself, to see how determined are you? Can you be dedicated? Can you stick to a diet? Can you stick to your coach's, workout plan? Can you do it all? So that moment on stage, and it's so funny because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what the morning show was versus the night show. I didn't know what prejudging was. I didn't know the formation, none of it, because I was basically told right before going on stage. So I just went out there and I had a ball and I lived my best life. And it was great. And when it was all over, I was like, wow, that was amazing. And then I was like, well, if I did so well here, why not try to turn pro? I had no idea what pro was, what it really meant. So I just decided that I was going to continue in the journey. And one thing about me, once I set my mind to something, I'm going to do it. So it took me a few years from that show to me turning pro in August of this year. But the ride has been amazing. And that's my story. I just had one person who is my cousin really inspire me and teach me a lot about the sport. And I've always loved the gym. I always loved pushing and pulling weight, always loved fitness. So this has definitely been like a very happy home for me. So
Yeah, everybody has their thing that got them started in the sport. Be it family or friend. Like you said, lose your mother. I could feel you on that because this is when I started doing this. Was I was taking care of my mom. She was sick for a long time, and then I was a fan about it for a long time, especially for you ladies. I was a fan with about it for a long time, and then taking care of her, I need something to help with my mindset. So I just started doing content and reaching out, doing interviews and making stuff. And then after she passed, I needed a purpose because
yes,
I was taking care of her. One person I have for myself. Like I didn't have no kids, I don't have no wife. I just got me, and I found something to give
right.
me a purpose. And that's why I learned from some body ladies who got into bodybuilding. You found something to give you a purpose. It's something about it. It's the discipline, the regimental practices, the patterns and the plans that's in bodybuilding that I think some people really like, especially somebody who has a mind where you had a mindset because you want to get into your early age, but back then, like in the early, I think the part of the 80s and 90s, there weren't that many divisions for women other than bodybuilding. And then there was fitness came along a little later. And then
Yeah.
here comes some other divisions. And Bikini, where it's been around for a good bit, not a big fan of it per se, but I respect your competitors. I have interviewed quite a few bikini pros.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
So,
we're out here. Of us,
yeah.
we rock. We work just as hard as the bodybuilders. Trust and believe.
Let's agree to disagree. But yeah, it's a totally different level. Everybody has you have to maintain a certain look compared to the
Yeah.
other divisions.
Well, I'll say that within my level, I work just as hard as the bodybuilders in their level. Like I understand their, what they have to do and the amount of muscle that they have. I get that. So, yes, within my little box, I just saying I work very, very hard in my box.
So, what was that like for you that first time finally getting on stage after many years of following your dream?
Incredible. So I'm also like I come from a background of commercial modeling. So I've had a very successful career in commercial modeling where I've been on TV, I've done television, magazines, billboards, the whole gamut. So stage fright was not an issue for me. It never has been. So I just basically got out there, had a great time. It was a feeling of euphoria, and it was just like, wow, I really did that. I really stuck to the plan, got here, got on stage. And like I said, it was no pressure whatsoever because I'm like, this is it. I'm just doing this one time and I'm out of here. So, like, it really was like just showing up, like, at a party with a bunch of girls and wearing a bikini and twirling, you know what I mean? And smiling. And it was like a beauty pageant for me. You know what I mean? So it was great. It was the best feeling, and to come away victorious, and exceed the expectations of what I expected, what my coach expected, because I was a real pain in the ass. I would say to my coaches, girls, do you think it's going to show up? What am I looking at? And they'd be like, we don't know. You won't know till show day. It could be 2, it could be 20. So I would always be asking these same old questions for like reassurance, or do you think I can win? Do you think? And my coach would always be like, I don't know. We just got to bring your best package. We will see. Just go out there, have fun. And I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. So I really went into it with no expectations. It was just doing it, you know what I mean? And seeing that I could do it and check that, out of my bucket list. So, like I said, I exceeded everyone's expectations and then got the bug in the process and was definitely like, I don't even think I was off stage when I was like, oh, I'll definitely be back. It's not over for me, you know what I mean? So, my only regret is that, and it's always God's timing, of course. I just wish I could have gotten to this sport sooner because I definitely be setting higher goals for myself. Like we know I'll never be able to go to the Olympia and do certain things. People say, well, you did a Masters Olympia, and maybe, but I'm still like, I'm 55 and those girls are over 40. So I don't know, but I'm just like, what will be, and if God says it will be, it will be. So right now, I just enjoy where I'm at. Like, it's still mind blowing to me, when people be like, you're a pro. And I'm like, who? Me? Like, I still have not really processed it, and I just turned pro in August. So it's been pretty incredible. But I'm looking forward to the future because I feel like, even though it's still pressure and some stress, it's more fun now because, I got the card. So I'm just going to be out here competing, having fun, you know what I mean? No pressure. And however God leads me, he leads me, and if I don't know if it's possible for me to go to the Masters Olympia, sure, why not? But it's not like set in my mind that, that has to be or will happen. It's just about just continually to push myself, continually growing, and exceeding the last package for me at this age.
Yeah. Well, I know a lady a while back I interviewed. She is 59 years old. She went to her first Olympia. Sometimes it's about the right time, right show. That's
Yeah,
Olympia. That's also you're still technically Olympian, and it's also it can qualify you for the Olympia if you win in your class. And I know it's tough because I've talked to ladies like yourself who are in their 50s, 60s, who got in the sport later in life. And some who took some time off, who step away from it to either start a career, have a family, and
yeah,
then, especially when the kids are grown and, there's not much else to do to get back in it because they had a passion for it. One lady
yeah.
I follow, she's 70 years old and she competed good part of the 80s and 90s, took a break, did some stuff and came back and she got a pro card. She was also at the
Mm.
North Americans that weekend. She was competing in women's of 70 plus. That's Carmen Brady, and she's an actress. Remember, she was in the movie Napoleon Dynamite. She was Starla, you know. Um, I think everybody finds their purpose when they get into sport. What excites them. And you mentioned your coach. So who's your coach and how y'all been together?
So my coach, his name is Jean Gibson. He's been competing. He's around the same age as me. He's been competing a long time. When he was younger, he really, really, really loves the sport. I mean, he's just such a blessing. So he is also my significant other. So that's kind of like how I went to, long story short, I went to school with him. I known him for years, but he moved to a different state, and I happened to run across him at ShopRite, of all places, right before I was going to compete for the first time for nationals. And I knew he loved the sport. I was like, hey, want to sponsor me? So that's how it began. And unfortunately, the prep and a lot of things happened before that national show was not good for me. I didn't do well at nationals that year, and he was there for towards the end of my journey to see a lot of things and ultimately see me compete. And when it was over, I mean, I got hammered. Like, I was done. Like, mentally, I was like, I don't think this is the sport for me, because I was literally walking around in my town thinking I'm the baddest 50-year-old in the world. And when I got to nationals, I found out that was a damn lie. And I had a lot of more work to do. I couldn't believe how these women were coming. I'm like, oh my God. So I really was, candidly sitting backstage feeling like a jackass. And I'm like, I'm done with this sport. So my boyfriend John, was like, yo, I know what I'm doing. If you just trust me, believe in me, give me time, do what I tell you to do, I promise you will turn pro one day. And we did. So we worked, this was our third year together. I've gotten sixth place, I'm sorry, second place 6 times. So finally, in August, it was my time. So yeah, really appreciative of him.
That's good because you know what? There's quite a few couples in sport, and that's the point of sharing the same passion. I know ladies whose husband's not a bodybuilder, but they still support him. I know some
Yeah.
ladies whose husband who are bodybuilders, and sometimes they don't like the fact that they're like competition with wife. But a man should never be competition with a woman. Men and women were different, species and breeds. We have different things, But it's good that he's supporting you and your passion.
All the
Because
way.
I remember one lady, a couple ladies told me that when they got into bodybuilding, the husband didn't like the way because with one thing about bodybuilding, especially you look at the higher end of the muscle development, like with divisions like physique and physique's like up at the higher end, but divisions like wellness, even those girls are getting buff. But bikini and there's a new division, excuse me, called fit model. I'm not going to. I interviewed a couple of competitors and nice ladies, but I'm not going to jump on a bandwagon about this. I understand what it's about getting attention, about maybe bringing more people in, but still, it's not really bodybuilding. It's just it's a throwback to when bikini first started, and like anything, each division evolves over time. Like if you remember early bodybuilding days to like Linda Murray and Iris Kyle, to
Or
people to people like right now just saw Ashley Jones. I got to meet her when I was in Tampa this summer. people like Andrea Shaw.
Yeah.
It's each.
Miss Pretty Muscle. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of hers. I think, like, one thing, I call her, she's my girlfriend. I mean, it's yeah, she doesn't know about it, but we're gonna get married someday. I think she brings a certain level to it, both muscle and femininity. Like, this is why I
Yeah.
often bring her up, because this is why, what for me, what fuels me is what women like yourself who support my content. And to quote my favorite character, the other guy says, "If you get us something, never do it for free." And a friend of mine, her name is Eunice. She runs her own company called Bad Rap. She's out this weekend in Vegas supporting the Steve Carr show. She was at Olympia back in 2023, and
Nice.
she saw Andrea. And I always want to show this, because this is why when she tells me she loves my support and she's thankful, and she autographed this personally, her. And this is what keeps me fueled, as a
Mhm.
content maker. Sometimes some of you ladies can be a pain in the ass.
There.
Yeah. So now you get your pro card. What was that feeling like for you that day when you're on stage and say, "Yeah,
Yo.
now you're IFB Pro"?
Yo, I'm about to cry right now just thinking about it. Yo, it was the most memorable, life-changing experience besides like having a child. It's up at the top of the major things that I have accomplished in my life because whew, that fight was so hard for me. Like I pushed, like, like all these women push, but I pushed. I'm talking about 3, 4 hours of cardio a day, like the diet. Just one time, my body just broke down, and I had to be in bed for like 2, 3 days just to recover. Like I've had all types of issues from skin breaking out, hair loss, my eczema that I haven't had since a child, like popped up right before my last competition of getting my pro card. So to be on stage when I did the prejudging show and I was in the middle, I was like, oh my God, I am dead center. And I'm talking about it might have been 7 of us. Like typically it would be 8. And you know how they do, they split the middle. So you don't know if you're first or second. No, dog. This time I am dead center. And I'm like, not really. And see, when I compete, like I kind of black out. I'm in the moment, but I don't know what's going on around me. I don't focus on the other women. I'm focusing on breathing, sucking my core into my ass, smiling, trying to look like I'm unbothered and this is all effortless for me, which is not. So when I got off stage, everybody was congratulating me. My phone was blowing up because so many people watched all these texts. And I was like, nah. Like, I don't want to hear it because I had been here 6 times before of splitting the middle, thinking that I got it and I didn't get it. So I'm like, until they called my name, I don't care. I was dead center because a lot can happen between prejudging and a night show. I don't know. So I'm just like, I'm not going to believe it. So when when they called my name, it was like, oh my God, it was crazy. Like I just, the feeling, like finally. And then I actually won the overall. So that was another, and it was just me and one other young lady who was a badass. And I'm really like, when I got on stage, the handlers were like, okay, you got to go right back. You got to go right. And I forgot about the overall. And I'm like, what are you talking about? No, I got another category. I'm over 50. I got to do that. They're like, no, it's live and happening. You got to go back out. So I went back there out kind of aloof. We're like, okay, whatever. Like I don't really care. I just got the pro card. I don't care about this shit. I just want the pro card. So in that moment, like within a few seconds, I was like, wait a minute, chick, why not try to? Who said you can't win this shit too? Like, so I just remember like a different emotion coming over, like, okay, girl, let's fight. Time to fight. And when they called my name, I just remember like toppling over. I wasn't going to fall to my knees or anything because I'm like, I'm not going to be that dramatic, but I could have. But it was crazy. Like, and to hold that big trophy because they give you a nice big trophy for the overall. I was like, this right here is incredulous. And then I had somebody come to me right away. We want to interview you. Who? You want to interview me? Like, dude, I felt like I won the lottery, $1 million. I felt like such a star. I felt like such a badass. Like I said, it was the best feeling. And I was super proud because I know how hard I worked. And everybody works hard, but I really worked hard. I've sacrificed so much, like so many people, family, friends, outings, gatherings, vacations. I hadn't had a vacation in a couple of years because, as you know, this sport is so expensive. So I'm like, whatever I would spend on a vacation, I'm just going to put all my ducats over here to this competing because I was so determined. I was like, I will never have a vacation until I turn pro. So um that moment was just incredulous, and I will never ever forget it. And whenever I can use that IFBB pro, it is everywhere. It is on my body now. I've had a tattoo. I've added, because I have an apparel line, I added that to my clothing. It's on my car. I'm waiting for my weight belt. I'm like, if I could stamp that shit on my forehead, it would be on my forehead. But that's how much it meant to me. And it's just really incredulous from a girl who didn't know what a damn pro meant or even care to, like, now I'm in the fight of my life and I'm going to get this pro card if it kills me. That's how I, not literal, but that's how I felt. Like, I am not going to stop until, I get it. And the support I had was incredulous. My whole community was behind me, and I didn't even realize they were rocking with me like that. So we would do live updates every week, and I'd be like, this is where we're at. This is what's happening. Here's my diet. Here's this. Here's that. And then when I didn't get it, my community would be so upset. You know what I mean? Be like, I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know what they want. And I'd be like, look, guys, it's okay. When it's my time, it's my time. And I'm not going to stop. I don't know if it's going to happen this year, next year, a couple of years from now, but we're going to keep going. So that's what a lot of people say they admire the most about me. I just would not quit. I would not give up. I was never negative because, a lot of women or even people would put stuff in my ear. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's politics, it's racism. I'm like, no, dog, it's none of that. It's none of that. I see black girls when they're pro card every freaking show. Cut it out. It's, you just gotta be the best on that day because these women are coming. No games are being played, and they're wives, they're professional women, they're mothers, they're all these things. I'm not any more special than them as far as my daily life, but you just got to bring it. So, that was basically it. But the feeling is just, even a couple of months later, that feeling is still like, wow. So yeah.
You sound like Oprah Winfrey from a co-host. All my life I had to fight. I
It
had to
hasn't
fight
been all
my
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 life,
brothers, my daddy.
but right. But it was a good 3 years. And listen, I'm appreciative because a lot of people had told me, like, I know women who turned pro their first national show. I know women who took a couple of shows. It took me 7 within what, 3 years. But I know women who have been doing a national show for 10 years and still have not prospered. So I feel like I did it in a pretty short amount of time, you know what I mean, as compared to a lot of people. So I'm really proud of that too. You know what I'm saying? So I've only been in the sport for what, 4 years now, and I think I have a total, including nationals, of 10 shows under my belt where I'm competing against women. They're like, oh, this is number 45 for me. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? So I am blessed. I'm grateful and I'm thankful for sure.
Yeah. The one thing is, back in the day was that many pro qualifiers, and then you have masters. Now you have in a couple of weeks. I know a couple of ladies are going to do masters USA's. Then you have the national championships in Texas next month. There's
Yeah.
quite a few, and also the shows. Just like I said, a lady I interviewed a while back. She just did a show today in Romania, but there was not enough competitors. She didn't get a pro card. It's
Oh, no.
also, yeah, it happens like that quite often, especially for the women's vitamin division, any physique. But it's about timing, where you want to be placed, how you feeling. how much you want this. Because you know what? A lot of ladies get the pro card and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm just going to go live life. Because, it's suspense to compete
True.
as amateur.
Yeah.
You know,
Happened.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty,
Women
yeah.
I compete against that they beat me for the pro card, I don't see them on the scene at all. Because I'm always watching all the women. I'm always looking up shows, seeing who is the top in these shows, and a lot of them are there, but there are a few who have totally disappeared since getting their pro card.
Mhm. I think that was the thing, that's
Yeah.
ambition, because that one thing, especially when you have that moniker IFBB, that's like almost being, especially if you work in the fitness world, it's almost like being like a mechanic or engineer or a contractor. It's like it's license and bonding for fitness.
The respect is crazy. When I see people out, they just be like, hi, IFBB Pro. I don't even think a lot of these people know what the heck that really means. They just know, and they're like, that girl right there, she's a professional bodybuilder. Like, she's the real deal. And I'm like, oh, they talking about, who would ever thought that they would be talking about little old Nacone Elizabeth Martin saying that she is a professional bodybuilder. And yeah, that was the other reason why I went hard for it, because I'm a personal trainer. I own my own studio along with my family member, Kenya. Hey, Kenya. You know what I mean? We've been in business 5 years, and I'm like, man, if I had that title behind my name, I just feel like you see that and you're like, this girl knows what she's doing. She's been through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, the journey has definitely helped me be a better personal trainer, at a better service to my clients, because I'm like, you can't tell me shit about a diet, dog. You know what I'm saying? I know how to freaking train, because when I got with my coach, one of the eye-opening things. Now, listen what I said. I've been in the gym since I was 26. I got with my coach when I was 51. Yo, my training was bullshit. Like, and I came to my first national stage. One of my best friends was calling me olive oil. And I just kept saying, shut up. You don't know the sport. You don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone. You're supposed to lean out. You're supposed to be. And she would be like, are you okay? Are you sick? Like, how much more weight is your coach going to have you lose? And I would be like, shut up. And then when I got with my coach, it was like, oh my God. And now I see pictures. You really were olive oil girl. Like, so I had to build legs. And I'm talking about pressing 1,000 pounds on the leg press when I was only doing 40, 90 pounds, like ridiculous shit, bro. So when I really learned how to live, how to isolate the mind muscle connection, it got really juicy for me. And I'm like, wow. And then when I popped out after I had been with him 1 year, whoa, they were like, that girl's going to be a problem. So yeah, and we were on from then. So yeah. So like I said, the journey has taught me a lot that I can really give back to my clients. And I'm like, I don't want to hear excuses about a diet. You know what I mean? You're either going to do it or you're not. There's really no shortcuts. You just got to commit. You got to stay dedicated. And, it doesn't happen overnight, unfortunately. So you just have to be patient and trust the journey. That's the biggest phrase I've heard. Trust the journey, trust the journey, trust the journey. Because I
Here
would
how
be
I
the
say
girl, oh
it.
my God, where's my tie-ins?
Here's how I say it. I don't say trust the journey just yet, or trust the process. Understand it first, and when you understand it, then trust it. Because some things, like you said, you're 26, you
Yeah.
know shit about training. Then until you met your coach, your man now, he learned you some things that you probably didn't understand or see. And that's a good thing about having a good coach. They see factors that as a competitor you might miss. I interviewed a young lady
Yeah.
yesterday. She's done everything. She's a figure competitor in amateur. She's doing everything on her own because where she lives at is not a lot of bodybuilders, and the next person would be like 3 or 4 hours away from her. You got to
Mm-hmm.
find the things that help you in your process and that you
True.
understand. And then when you understand it, then you can trust it. So, folks, we got Nacone here. We're going to do this. We're going to jump into her social media for a little bit. If you want to follow her link in the description of this live. If you're interested in, she says she's also a trainer. She has a studio. If somebody interested, or you work with people who are mostly lifestyle, or you think about you want to work with, competitive bodybuilders too.
So I'm working with all ages, lifestyle, and I'm privately coaching a couple of people. You know what I mean? Because that was the other thing. I wanted to now get into coaching other bikini competitors, but I was not going to do it until I had that card. So now that I have that card, and I wanted to have all the knowledge that I could have because that's serious. You know, coaching someone is serious. I don't take it lightly. I'm not trying to play games with anyone's time, money, or physique. So, yeah, but a lot of my clients are lifestyles, all ages. You know what I mean? So, and I have men too.
All righty. So we're gonna jump into our social media. And guys, and this is no offense to her. I do this because I know you guys out there. I know you guys because I'm one. I had to say my crime Nacone. I am what you call a merciful smo. But I try to calm down my fantasies and everything like that. It's something I gotta work on. But it's something that takes time. But guys out there who are fans of these ladies, be it bikini, wellness, bodybuilding, physique, be respectful to these ladies. She got a man. No D pics. Don't send that. Stop it. She's a pretty woman. I know she is, but guys, no one wants to see that. Come on. So we jump here. Yeah, you'll be blocked. So we jump here in her social media, and here's the interview she did, and it's really, 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 you really feel her passion, and she's giving an interview with I think it's the NPC News Online.
Yes.
Here you go.
Everybody, it's Josh with Forged by Iron for NPC News Online at the 2025 North American Championships with your over 55 overall bikini winner,
Nacone Martin.
You forgot new IFBB Pro, Nacone.
IFBB Pro. Oh my God.
So how does that
I've
feel?
been about this for 3 years. It feels amazing, but it hasn't really sunken in yet. But
I think sometime middle of the night, you'll wake up in a cold sweat and go, oh my God, I'm a pro.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. It's like,
So how long have you been competing?
I've been competing about 4 years. So this is my 9th national show, and I've done 12 shows in total. So I haven't been on the scene long, so I feel even more blessed, you know what I mean?
So what did you do different preparing for this show to bring home that hardware today?
So they told me from the last show, which I was here, 6 weeks ago, they told me little better conditioning and darker tan. So we definitely did those things. So
Well,
yeah.
you listened,
We listened.
and this is what happens.
Yes.
So is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yes, I would like to give a shout out to my coach and boyfriend, John Gibson, my posing coach, Vanya Auguste, my friends and families, because I have been on everybody's nerves, in my hometown of Trenton, New Jersey. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. We did it! Oh!
So you wanted to thank everybody.
Yes.
Is there anybody you want to say sorry to? Like everybody for being mean?
No.
No?
It
I love
goes
it.
with the territory.
So now that you can kind of eat whatever you want within limits, what's on that menu tonight now that you're done with the stage?
So I heard that a lot of restaurants closed early in Pittsburgh. I really wanted a burger and fry, but I don't know. We're just going to see what's open. So maybe pizza, whatever I can get my hands on.
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to plug them, but the hotel has a pretty good cheeseburger.
Oh, they do? Okay,
They
that's
do.
good to know, Josh. Thank
So,
you.
worst case scenario,
Okay, no,
you don't even have to
I'm
go
okay with
anywhere.
that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yes, and I want a Pepsi. Yes.
You need that sugar.
Yes. Oh
All
my
right.
God.
I like
Thank
it.
you.
So it's Josh with Forged by Iron.
What? I didn't hear you, Joshua. What?
I said it's Josh with Forged by Iron.
And Nacone Martin.
There you go. We're out of here, everybody.
Thank you. Oh my God.
That's so sweet. You get your burger.
I did. Yeah, we went across the street. They had like a pub there. So the burger wasn't that great because it tasted like a frozen burger, but whatever. It was what it was, So yeah.
Yeah.
But wow,
Well,
this is incredible.
Yeah.
That was
And-
today.
Yeah, and that's one of your clients you're working with.
Yes.
You enjoy being a coach and a trainer, working with people, helping them,
love
improve
it.
their life and their health and fitness.
I love it, man. I love it. Like, and I'm a crier. So I love transforming people. People, not all my clients, but there's several clients that have to do check-ins every week with their weight. When they send me that text and that weight has gone down, I just scream, I just cry. You know what I mean? So I'm a very, very hands-on coach. I love to touch my clients. I'm very personal with them. My clients are not only my clients, they're my friends. I celebrate their life. They celebrate mine. It's like, and like you said earlier, George, about purpose. Like this gives me purpose and fuel, so what fuels me. So my only regret is that I didn't go to school for it, you know what I mean, and get a degree in it. But that's okay because God led me here and I had no intent on doing this at all. Not being a personal trainer, none of that. I wanted to be an actress and a model. You know what I mean? And then my focus shift, maybe 10 or so years ago, where I just got into the personal training and the modeling and the acting scene kind of burnt me out because I was tired of being on set. People think that life is so glamorous. It's not. I was tired of, all that stuff, traveling back and forth to New York because I live in Jersey, doing casting calls. So I was like, yeah, I had a great career and I'm just going to fall back. No, well, a lot of people don't know. I still do it. I have an agent in New York City. Shout out to Funny Face Today. And the great thing, one of the only probably good things about COVID is that it forced the, agencies or whatever to do castings online. So now I can just do a casting from my house and submit it instead of getting on a train and going into New York. So that was the plus.
Yeah, and this is your brand, and it's what's the name of it?
That is my brand. It is called Nacone. It is my name spelled backwards, and my slogan is "I know I can." And the slogan behind that is just me looking in the mirror, most of my life and telling myself that I know I can do it. Because, like I said, I came from, a person who had no self-esteem, someone who tried to commit suicide once, and I just didn't have any belief in self due to some of the things that my mother had said to me that kind of lived on in my head forever, which is why I'm so appreciative of my gym family, because once I joined my gym family, it gave me the confidence and the drive to go out and pursue my modeling and acting career and so on. And now we're here. So that I know I can is basically my mantra of me looking in the mirror every day and telling me I can do whatever it is that I want to do.
Yeah, and he said you were olive oil because where's Popeye? I am
That's
who I
my
am.
first
That's all who
show.
I am.
That's my first show, George. That's it right there.
Well, you have a nice body. I mean,
Oh,
especially with the
my
yeah.
leg, and I didn't really grow that much, unfortunately, from then to my first national show. So you can imagine, I got my feelings hurt very badly. But it's all
Well,
either you were going to quit the sport or you were going to show up and do the work and hopefully one day show out. And I chose the latter.
well, the thing is, that's the thing about this sport. You have to have determination, consistency, persistence. I mean, discipline. Because if you don't have that, it can easily be distracted. People talk about motivation. Motivation can change with the wind. You can get up one morning and say, you know what, I feel like doing this, but I don't feel like doing that.
True.
And you have to understand what's involved in it. The sacrifice, not so much the sacrifice, but investment in bringing your best shape, your best conditioning. And again, you're competing with women who could be 20 years, 10 years younger than you, and still maintaining your own, and also again winning the overall. And this is a video from her show here. And wow, I mean, wow. I mean, you was wow. I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like I said,
And I'm so mad because when you see I do the back pose, I bobbled. I never bobbled. And that bobble pissed me off, but it didn't stop me, thank God from getting it. But when I tell you all the hours and hours and hours and hours and hours that I put into my posing, because that posing, I was so disrespectful to that process. And I'm thinking because I was a model and I did so many runway shows, this posing ain't going to be shit. Yeah, okay. So, man, I was posing all day, every day, at home, at the gym, in the locker room, at my studio. Like, and I couldn't even go to bed at night as we got closer to the show, because I was running through the posing in my head. Like, don't forget to do this. Don't forget to squeeze here or suck in here, because here's something interesting, George. So the reason I was told that I didn't prosper the other times was because I had a bad habit of dropping my core, especially when I transitioned. So in my head, I was thinking that my core was tight, but it wasn't. So, this past season, I worked so hard on the core, doing the what do you call them? Oh God, the vacuums, doing some other things. I was giving myself the lymphatic massages. Yo, I was going ham on my core, and I'm still not thrilled with my core. My core can still be better, but next year I'm gonna, fix some things again. But that's been like my biggest problem is my core. Like, I'm like, what is happening? So, but yeah.
Yeah. I think everybody has that one issue that they have to work on. It's
Yeah,
we have our strengths, but also we need to work on our weaknesses too. Especially
yeah,
when you are in a sport like bodybuilding, you have to be in front of judges. You have to, bring your best shape, working conditioning. There's
yeah.
so much involved in it. And I interviewed a young lady a while back. She's also a bikini competitor and also an actress herself. Her name is Chantel, and she's inspiring to be an IFBB pro. She did a show last month, which was the Amateur Olympia. She has great look, great physique. It's about what you want to bring in the sport.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. And the thing is, it's a passion sport. And it's, again, the sport. Now you're IFBB pro. You're at another level, and now you have to step it up a little bit because you compete with women who have been competing a long time, who are much younger. They have particularly certain things that they fit the aesthetic the judges are looking for. And again, this sport, it's not a sport you can really make a living off of. For you women, I say it's quite often. For the men, all you gotta do is wear a pair of banana hammers and board shorts. That's it. For your ladies, you have to have both, a presentation of very appealing. You have to have the muscle conditioning, the aesthetics. I mean, between the cost of your suits, the cost of traveling to the shows, hair, makeup, especially for a woman of color, that's the thing that you really have to work on the most.
Yes. Yeah, it's very expensive. But again, there I've been blessed, and I don't ask for, I did the first year, but I haven't really asked for donations, and people just sent me money. And I was like, what? And like, it was mind blowing. And that's when I realized like my town was really in support of me. They were like, we want to see you get your pro card. So like, I definitely give credit to my city. I'm like, this is our win, because so many people have been watching my journey since I first started to now, turning pro. And it was great because it was a great motivator for me, because I'm like, I don't want to fail in front of my town, in front of my people. So, I will compete next year, in my first pro show. And I, again, plan to bring these people along with me. You know what I mean? So, because they don't even know how much they have motivated me and inspired me to just be great. So I'm so appreciative. I've conveyed this message to my town, but if anybody's watching this, I really, really hope they understand. Like, I'm gonna cry. How much, that meant, because it's a hard sport. It's a lonely sport. So there is no team. George, either you're gonna do it or you're not. You know what I'm saying? And there was days that I cheated. There was days I would slip up, and I very, very candid with my coach. Shit, I had a pack of Twizzlers today. And he'd be like, and he'd be like, thank God for my coach. He'd be like, okay, he didn't yell, he didn't get an attitude. He'd be like, okay, well, why do you think you had those Twizzlers? What happened that you felt like you needed that? And then George, he's so phenomenal. He was like, well, did eating those Twizzlers make you feel better? And I was like, they did. And he was like, then I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now let's get back on track and, let's get refocused. You know what I'm saying? So um, it's lonely. It's hard. I had friends that were mad at me who literally cussed me out. Like, like, oh my God, we never see you anymore. This is bullshit. You can't go out to dinner. You can't do this. Because they didn't understand, and they didn't understand the sacrifice. They do now, because all of these people have shown up for me in different ways, including coming to my show, and they're very proud of me. But, and that's why I always plan my prep, around certain times of the year. Like, I'm not in prep now because I want to eat for Thanksgiving. I want to eat for Christmas. There are certain things that I want to do. So this time of year is when a lot of cabarets and stuff happen in my town. My birthday is this month. So I'm going to party. I'm going to eat. I'm going to drink. I'm going to enjoy life. And then January, of course, we're still training and going hard. But January, I'm back in the box. And I always say my expression is lights off, head down, hoodie up. So people know when I say that, I'm pulling the trigger. And I always tell my friends, I'm outside until January 2nd. I don't want to hear nothing. You want to do dinner, you want to do all these things, you got till January 2nd, because when January 2nd comes, I'm done. And I really won't see you until, well, previous years, it's been the summer. Because I would start prep in January and compete for the first time in July. Because I like to do a nice, slow, and steady prep. That way I can still have cheat meals. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to go hard so fast like a lot of people, 12 weeks, 16 weeks. Nah, give me a nice long, prep. So, but this year, I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm thinking about doing, my pro debut in May in Miami. And we'll see how it goes. I don't know if I'm going to be one and done or if I'm going to keep going or what. But so I don't know how long my season is going to be this year.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, everybody, that's the thing about people when it comes to sport, because the mindset of the everyday person, we mentioned bodybuilding. It's like, okay, they think about two people, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno. And then everything else is like, you're taking steroids, you get these muscles, and you look all yoked out. But no, it's about, again, a lot of sacrifice you got to make because it's a sacrifice of investment. And, I've talked to ladies who sometimes family members and friends don't understand it. Friendships change. Sometimes there are people that you grew up with, you were close with, but because you got into something they don't understand, they kind of distance themselves because you're committed to something. And those that stand by you, that support you, like your boyfriend, your cousin, and other family members, those are people that really want to see you grow and evolve in your process as a bodybuilder. I say this: for those people who have an issue with it, and those we call haters, let them hate till they can't hate no more. That's the thing is, you hate. I say this: you hate so much, but we care so little.
So true. I'm like, it's Team Nacone. Either you own it or you're not. Because listen, I'm not going to stop this. I've sacrificed so much in my life as a single mother and, working the job so my son can go to college and do a lot of things. I'm like, this is my time. And this is what I, chose to do. I was one of those young mothers who was definitely robbing Peter to pay Paul. You know what I'm saying? So this is what fuels me. This is what gives me purpose. This is what makes me happy. So damn it, I'm gonna do it until God says you're done. You know what I mean? And I don't know when that's going to be. So I'm definitely not going to stop before I'm 60. I know that. So my friends know, my family knows, either you're with it or you're not. Listen, before I got with my boyfriend and coach, I was dating a gentleman who infuriated me. He watched me for 3 or 4 years on social media. He knew I was into bodybuilding. He knew I was into the gym. He knew I owned my own studio and worked full time during the day and trained clients at night. So he finally got the opportunity to date me. We dated. He was done with me in like 2 months. As soon as I hit prep, he was like, what do you mean you can't go out to dinner? But wait a minute. And, he had some coins. So he thought because he had coins that he was going to control me. You don't need to run a fitness studio. You don't need to do this. Like, I got you. Okay, sir, but this is what I want to do. And I had only been in business a couple of years. I'm not stopping what I worked hard for to cater to you. Are you freaking crazy? You must be nuts. So then he was a foodie. We couldn't go out to dinner. Well, we can go out to dinner on Saturday at certain places and certain menus. That pissed him off. One night, he took me to a concert. I'll never forget it. It was Kevin Hart and Chris Rock in Atlantic City. He drove me home. He was kind of complaining on the way home, walked me in my house, basically told me on the ride home, yeah, I can't get with all this fitness shit. And he was like, and you're like a sex object because the way I present my body with the posing, yes, I'm showing my glutes, I'm showing all this shit. But men like you, if you're taking it to be sexual, that's your problem. I'm taking it as developing muscle and showing the muscle that I built. So something's wrong with your brain. So he basically said, I can't get with all this fitness shit. Kiss me on my forehead. I swear to God, walked out my front door. Never heard or saw from him again. Blocked me on all social media, blocked my friends. Yo, I was so pissed. You know what I mean? But pissed in that regard because I'm like, you knew what it was, dog, and you knew who the hell I was. So I never fronted or pretending to be anybody than who I was, who I presented, and who I said. So, but I'm grateful because we were only a few months into it. So, you know, this guy was talking about marriage and all this other bullshit. I'm like, are you crazy? So, yeah, bye-bye. Because that would have, so that's when we were talking about George, the support. That definitely would have been a tug of war, a push or pull. Who knows if I would have even been in the sport if I decided I wanted to be with this man. So, like I said, it's like night and day. I'm so grateful because the man I have now, he loves muscles. He's always tripping. Oh my God, look at your glutes. Oh my God, look at your hand. He's always touching me. Jeez, your heart is a rock. Oh my God, Dave, I can't wait until your pro show. We're going to do some more things. I'm always researching. I'm always thinking this man loves to see me shine, George. I've never experienced that in my life. I've always had men who were insecure, jealous, you know what I mean? Because I'm kind of cute. So they were always ready about the next man. But this guy, the most secure guy that I know, and is always like pushing me, trying to push me to the light, push me to the light. You know what I mean? Where everybody else was trying to dim my light. So when I say this journey, I'm just so grateful and blessed, you know, especially to have him, someone that who truly 100% loves me and wants the best for me in all areas of my life. And when I tell you he goes harder for me, loves this sport probably more than I do, it's crazy. And I'm not his only athlete. He has blown up. He had a guy competing today, OCB, I think, trying to get his pro card. We don't know how he did. But when I tell you he is the type of coach, he's calling you all the time. The first thing he always asks me, even as his woman, George, how do you feel? How are you feeling? What? Oh, I'm fine. You know what I mean? So I'm like, sometimes he's too much, you know what I mean? But he's like that with all his athletes. I don't know how he does it. So again, so that's just my little story of what do you call that? I forgot. The kiss on the forehead signifies some. I guess is that the kiss of death or somebody. But I got that. I got that kiss, and I was like, yo, did this man really just kiss me on my forehead and walk out my damn front door? Yo, but thank you. I would say his name, but whatever. But thank you. You know who you are.
One of my favorite comedians. One of my favorite comedians is Bernie Mac. And you remember the movie House Party 3, where he's sitting talking to kids, say, you know what? Say it like this. Say, boy, if people don't like you, fuck them. You mean fuck them up? Say like, you know, put the handcuffs on lips, handcuffs on hands, and crucifix on lips. You know, because that's the thing is, you cannot ever be, if you can't make yourself happy, there's no point in having somebody who's going to pull you down. You do this for yourself, for you. As a man, there's no reason for a man to be jealous of a woman. Man, I'm a Southern gentleman. I got my Doc Holiday on today. And Doc is a Southern gentleman. You know, you're Daisy if you do, Daisy if you don't. And he ain't no Daisy. And that thing is, as a man, you should be secure. If you worry about other men looking at you women, say, hey, those are other men. They have nothing to do with the relationship. It's between you and her. If she's with you, if you're with me, you're my woman, you're my girl. I'm not gonna worry about it. You're doing something that's for you. I do my thing for me. I'm like this. I've never been in relationships. I had relations, I had some time with some ladies, but when I'm with somebody, I'm with you. Unless there's something that's wrong or what's going on. But I think it's good that you have a man that supports you. That other guy, he was a chump, he was a penny ass, he was a candy ass, whatever he was looking for something that all a fantasy. I don't know. No man who just know one few months goes over and jump out and marry. My parents were together for 55 years, even though he was living up in New Jersey, and my mom was still in North Carolina with the rest of us. And it's just as a man, you should respect what a woman does. Men and women, we can never compare each other. We're different. We're different aspects, different things. There's so much that I think some people need to open their minds to. We have here, shout out to my man Brown Baldy coming through. It says, salute to that brother for appreciating those muscles. Talking about your boyfriend. Also, it says this, it says, big facts, George. Yeah. And then, the thing is that, said again, women with muscle, it's beautiful. It helps, especially, it doesn't stop father time. It halters a little bit. I interviewed a lady who's 76 years old, and she competed as a pro. She turned pro also in North Americans a couple of years ago. Ladies at 55, 56, young competitors, older competitors. Everybody find something about this sport that inspires them. And your boyfriend, he gets excited because there's a Nacone, there's an old smoke saying, like, when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. That's the same situation. Shout out to my dear friend, Miss Dorian Hamer, coming through. Says, awesome, thank you for sharing. So, the question, yeah, but we talked earlier. She, her name is very interesting, Nacone. So again, can you explain to the people who didn't get the chance to hear where you got your name from?
Well, as far as I know, I've only gotten told the story once, and unfortunately, my mom is deceased. Like, she died when I was 26. But the story that I got was that when I was born, what was it, 1969? During that time, Nicole was very, very popular, and my mom was like, "Yeah, it's overdone." So she was a fan of the show Hawaii Five-O. If anybody remembers that show, and somewhere, somehow, during this show, one of these episodes, Nacone was heard. So my mom named me Nacone, and it's like a spin on the Nicole. So it's interesting because my name, and I don't even say it right a lot of times myself. It's so crazy. I guess just being lazy. So it's Nacone, but I will say Nacone. Some people, my friends, call me Nay. I get called Cone, Nay. Those are all, those are all my nicknames. But yeah, it's Nacone.
Nacone, Nacone. Like, I used to remember watching Hawaii Five-O. There's a remake show. I never watched it because it's, you don't have the real Steve McGarrett, Jack Lloyd with the hair, and lucky she called you. Lucky she named you Dano. Say, book her, Dano. So,
right? Yeah.
I still watch it. Comes on every Sunday.
Like in the last 5 years, I'm like, I should. But I'm like, do I really want to? But I have entertained the thought of going back and trying to see if I could pull up the old episodes and watch the episodes so I can, see for myself when and where that name, Nacone, was said. So, but I don't know.
I might do this. Every so often, I watch this network. It's called H&I, where they show throwback TV shows. And every Friday, they show Hawaii Five-O. Maybe one of these days when I'm not doing anything, I'll try to catch it and see and let you know the episode. We have here,
I don't
shout
character. I don't know.
Yeah, shout out to Dorian. She says, "I'm 52 as well, so this is amazing. Wish more women like yourself was spotlighted more." Yes, that's why I reach out to ladies who are other divisions, and most of the time I get more opportunities with women who are older, mature, because they're willing to talk. The young girls, if you're not the big, you got to have a 500,000 followers. My channel is a small channel. I've been doing this for at least about 7 years. And, really it's you mature women who have a story to share. You've been through it. Like, also my birthday is this month too. I'm going to be turning 51 in the 19th. I'm also a Scorpio, so we I think that's why we Korean we're Scorpios. But Scorpios can't be together. That's the thing.
Hell no.
No. It's just I think maybe it's Libras, maybe something like that, but not Scorpios.
Hurricanes and tornadoes. No, it's not happening. And I'm sorry, George. What was the last young lady's name that just
Her name is Dorian Hamer. There she is, right here.
I just want to say to you, I appreciate you so much, and girl, let me tell you something. Us 50-year-olds, yourself included, we are killing it. When I'm telling you, girl, if you work out and you ever think about competing, do it, because we are out here. I could not believe the amount of 50-year-old women and 60-year-old women who are competing and competing for the first time. So if it's something that you wanted to do or even try, don't be afraid of it. You just gotta, commit. It's life changing. It really is. It changed my whole perspective on a lot of things, my mentality about things, and it really, really showed me who I was. And I was like, you know what? I really like you, Nacone. And I really struggled with that when I was younger, where I came from a place where I didn't like myself at all, which is why I initially stepped into a gym. So thank you for that, though.
Yeah, I can understand because you know what, I've always been kind of big for a kid. I grew up, country. Played football. Then I got into the real world where I don't have enough time. I was like eating junk. Taking care of my mom was also very stressful. And when she passed, I said again, this was something that I had me to take care of now. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I got me. And then I said, you know what? I remember this was like true story at my mother's funeral.
Mm.
I was sitting and we were inside sitting eating, and my sister took a picture, and I saw the picture from the back, and that's me. I said, "Damn, I mean, wow!" I just really, really took a step back, and said, "You know what? I need to change some things." So I started doing little things here and there. I was around about, yeah, I think it was like 480 something. I remember when I started to see my doctor that time, and then I went to my doctor a few months ago. I'm right now at 414. I was doing some exercise working out, but then I had issues with my knees. I was going to the gym. I was going to Planet Fitness, but then the situation happened where it was a car that I had. Well, actually, my sister gave it to me, my older sister, and it broke down. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to waste money fixing it anymore, and then just be done with it. But I really need to get back into that. It's just about me. I don't have discipline like y'all people do. Don't have that discipline as bodybuilders. But I'm a procrastinator. It's in my nature. But eventually, I know what I need to do, and I'll do it.
Oh, I'm gonna put my personal training hat on right now, and as people of color, you got to get moving, brother, because now we talking about other things, and you know what I'm talking about: blood pressure, high cholesterol, possibility of, God forbid, having heart attack. So,
I will break you on that. Already had one
oh,
11 years ago, and I have this little buddy that's been with me for 11 years, my pacemaker.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's genetics, but you know what? I have done better. I don't eat as like a
you've
lot of
been
heavy foods. I get away from the processed stuff. I try to
yes,
drink more
work.
water. Even though this afternoon I had a pizza, but like I said, I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. And, I still like to indulge in the good stuff. Here we
Of
get
course.
shout out to a girl, Dorian. She says, "I know I work out and want to for sure been an athlete all my life, and my hubby is down, so no excuse. I need to get on stage." Yeah, because she's planning on
Yes.
competing. And, I'm trying to get her on here and talk about her story, but some people be scared. They be like, "You can't."
Uh,
I tell you, you can't. Like, there was an old school wrestler used to say like this. He used to call, he used to be in a feud with Dusty Rhodes. His name was the redneck Captain Dick Murdoch. He said Dusty Rhodes says, "Dusty Rhodes, yo, yellow belly, egg sucking dog." And you can't be that. You got to have some courage. It's tough when
yes.
you do it the first time, but once you
Yes.
get that courage up, you can
Yes.
do anything.
Marian, please connect with me so I can be your encourager, your sister, your motivator, whatever you need. You need a coach, but whatever you need, girl, I'm here for you because I want to see you do this and I want to see you like just thrive. I'm telling you, you won't regret it, especially if you have the support system. Not saying it's not going to be hard. It's going to be trial and tribulations, and then life be lifing. Like we can't stop life while we're doing all this too. So a lot of things we have to figure out as far as scheduling and stuff, but you can definitely do it. And it sounds like you have some muscle if you've been in the gym. So let's go, girl.
Yeah, here's a comment says, "I got to get over the shyness." LOL. That's why LOL. I'm in Cali. Yeah, especially in Cali. It's
Yes,
the home of nuts and fruits.
yes, you have everything out there. Yes, yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just it's about also again, you have to get out of your own way. That's the
True.
one thing. Because when I started this content and really reaching out to people, I went to my first bodybuilding show. back in 2022. It was a great opportunity for me because I wanted this is my one. I worked a lot. I had 2 jobs when I was in my 20s, even to my 30s. I worked here and there with the school for a bit, and then after time where I did have responsibilities like I used to, like care of my mom, and didn't really have a job. I don't really work much anymore. Most of the time here at home. Then I said, you know what? Let me do something. Went to my first show in 2022. That was at Savannah Pro. Enjoyed that. Missed my train back home. But my niece, she lived in Atlanta, so she came and picked me up, took me back home. Just a few months ago, my friend Eunice, I'm always going to shout out, and this is her company, Bad Rap. And right now she's in Vegas hanging out and supporting the ladies and women bodybuilding. And her Bad Rap company the moniker is Big and Defined, Rip and Pump. And we got to do like the rip part. And I always want to shout her out because she's a good friend of mine. And I went there to support her. And it was a great opportunity for me to meet some ladies who I've done interviews with, ladies I follow on social media, people that I've seen over the years in sport. I even met the current Mr. Olympia right now, Derek Lungford. He was there. He was hanging out at the booth.
Yeah.
And even one thing, I think, the thing that really, because if I didn't do that, if I didn't get out of my own way, if I didn't go to Tampa, I wouldn't have the opportunity to meet this gentleman right here. You'll know when you see his face.
Yeah.
I give you a guess. It's a song by a group.
Oh yeah, I don't. He looks for Oh my God.
Might as well jump.
Okay.
Go ahead, jump.
What's the name?
David Lee Roth.
Oh, right.
Diamond Dave. I met him there. He was there hanging out. I didn't know he was at first because I saw him earlier. But when we came past our booth, I looked at his face. I recognized his face and smile he has. I say, wow, I wouldn't have able to see someone like him if I didn't go there. I had to get, I'm planning on my friend Eunice. You saw her in the picture. She's planning on going to do another show. I'm hoping I might go there, or I go to another show. Like I said, I got a great nephew, and his girlfriend lives in Atlanta. I might go there and see with them and go check out Linda Orlando Pro. I would like to do more of that, but like I said, I live on Social Security. I got to budget my things, just pay my rent, pay my light bill. I think I'm about broke to joke, but still, I got enough where I put some to the side. But that's why I enjoy doing this, and this is my passion. Because you know what, you got to have something in life that drives you.
For real. Yeah, it's the best decision I made, and I'm excited, for the journey to for next year. And then I have a couple of, and then can I talk about the friendships in this sport? The friendships I have made are immeasurable. They are amazing. Shout out to one of my besties, Gina. Gina, I love you. Gina and I have been on stage so many times. She's usually third place. We love each other, but we be we be battling on stage. So this year I was prosperous. She was not, unfortunately, but I do believe next year will be her year, and I'm so excited for her in her season. This girl works hard, and she is an amazing human. And I hope you interview her, George, because she has an amazing story. But yeah, so I'm excited to go back to a couple of shows next year and root for some of my friends, and just be able to sit in the audience like you know what I mean, and enjoy that part of it instead of being backstage going crazy, all the feels, you know what I mean. Now I can show up, support, love all my friends, and hopefully enjoy their moments if they turn pro.
That's understandable. That's good, And shout, if your friend interested, you give my information. Let her know, because I'm open, always open to have somebody come on and share their stories. It gives me something to do, because some days I'll be kind of bored. I'm working on stuff, and stuff in the area. But then I enjoy talking with women like yourself. Couples. I've had a couple of guys on here before too, but. As I said, against this challenge about the ladies. It may not be the 80s, but I'm down with the ladies. So, and you mentioned your boy, your baby. How old is he, and what's his name?
My son?
Yeah.
My son is a baby. My son is 30. Wait a minute, let me think about this. I'm about to be 30. He's 35. So, yeah, not a baby. So,
well, see, it's a southern thing. Anybody who's not at this age yet is the baby. You may not be. Your breath may not smell like Similac and you're wet behind your ears, But still, like my mama used to do this. I used to joke with my mama. I say, "Mama, ain't I a man? Mama, ain't I a man?" She said, "Nah, you my baby." "I'm a man, mama. I'm a man." She's like,
Yeah.
"Nah, you my baby." That's how it is. Because no matter how old we grow up, we're always our mother's baby. Even though I have 3 older sisters, one of them she passed away a long time ago. I have an older brother. He passed away a long time ago. I still have my younger brother. I have an older brother from my father. He has a son and a half sister. And it's always that thing about family, I got nieces and nephews, great nieces and nephews, and I love them. I still remember them as baby. My one of my younger nephews, he just turned 40 this year, and he's on his umpteenth kid. So, a brand new little baby girl. I'm hoping to see her someday. But that's the thing is, what was that like for him? Seeing his mom walking around and bathing suits and bikini. And no, he's practically a grown man now. But then, yeah, think about it. Hey, he going to say, "Hey, man, I saw your mom at the show. I mean,
Yeah.
she looking really good, brother."
Honestly, I don't know because my son is not into it. He's not into the bodybuilding. I mean, he'll be like, "Good luck, good job," but if it bothers him, if anybody's saying anything, I don't know, and I wouldn't care. But no, my son is like IT into computers and tech. That's his world, and that's where he stays. So all this stuff, and I do a lot. You know what I mean? I'm involved in a lot, and even when I was modeling, acting on TV, he was just always unbothered. Like, "That's great, mom. Congratulations." That doesn't
Oh,
excite him. But you talk about coding or something like that, then that's when he gets animated. But anything else?
nerd, nerd. I
Yeah,
played football in high school.
yeah.
That was, but that's a good thing that, it doesn't bother me too much. But I think like any child, we love our mothers. My mother was my woman, and I love her. I miss her. And I appreciate what she supports me in doing something. I supported her. My mother had to raise, like I said again, not just me, my brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews, and also she had to hustle. And that's the
Yeah.
thing with our mothers. We get like this. This is somebody told me a long time ago when I used to work at this plant. And lady, she told me, said, "George, you live with your mama, son?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I do." "Well, son, stay with your mama as long as you can. But you can do what you do as a man, but always come home to your mama." And that's what I did. And I know he supports you, loves you. Maybe someday he had the courage to say, "I'm going to show and support my mom," but you
Well,
know,
you know what? He was actually coming when I competed in TNAC in July. He was going to come, but I deterred him from doing that. I was like, don't worry about it. He did watch online. But I'm just like, I'm not going to force him. Plus, George, if you're not into this sport, it could be a very long day, you know what I mean? And it gets boring because once that competitor is on and off, it's like, oh, now what? The long intermission between the day and the night show. And then I was like, well, you could just come to prejudging. But I was like, just watch it online. And he did. And he celebrated me, and that was fine. You know what I mean? So, and I had so much support in the building. I was okay. You know what I mean? Like, I get a lot of support. So I was good. So, yeah.
mhm. Yeah, we have here the great benefactor with the smiling shades guy. Put a word, sometimes emojis, but appreciate you, brother, coming through. Yeah, that's good. I don't know. Everybody finds what they want in this sport, be it your family and friends support you, stand by you, and love you, and also as an athlete to grow and develop. I mean, like again, people look at bodybuilding, it's always about steroids and you're popping, you get these muscles. Like, what's your training like? Like when you're training, what's that thing you love the most about training? The thing you just can't just damn. That's
The thing that I hate the most about training, um, I typically love it all, but I hate leg day. Like, I used to really hate leg day because I had no legs. And my coach was pushing me so hard, I was crying in the gym, crying at home, passed out on the floor. Like I said, I was pushing 1,000 pounds on the leg press. I didn't even know I could do that. So like I could just feel my whole soul leaving my body. Like, and then I used to bite back, clap back, like and he'd be like, "You want to win? You want to win?" And then that would just okay. But I'm still not a fan of leg day. So I typically train. Well, I have a split. So I focused because, like, understand, I had no legs. So I had to build everything, even my glutes. So I still go hard on legs and glutes 2, 3 days a week, and I have a split. But Sundays are my heaviest leg days where I work out with my coach and my team. So that morning preparation, it's always a mental talk. All right, Nacone, how you feel? Did you drink your protein? You feel good? You ready to push some weight? We going heavy today? So that's the pep talk. But I love upper body. Love upper body. Give me shoulders, give me bicep, give me back. In fact, that's all I did when I was in the gym, apparently, all these years. So it was like, girl, what happened to your legs? I was like, fuck legs. What I need legs for? Until I started competing. You know what I mean? But so it's crazy, George, because I had got so big on top, so shredded. My traps were insane that the judges were like, girl, you trying to do figure? They were like, you gotta dial back. So not this year, but last year we had to dial back. Like, I had to stop working out on upper body. So genetically I'm blessed because I don't go hard on upper body. I fart around with it, here and there. Shoulders, I'm not lifting heavy because I just get so big on top. So which was great for the past year or so, because then I could just hammer legs. And I was hammering legs so much and posting it, like, everybody was like, oh, yep, hamstrings. And I had people watching with me. I see your hammies, I can see your tie-ins, and I still don't have the best tie-ins, but this year I finally had some tie-ins that I could be proud of. And I was like, thank you, Jesus, thank you, tie-in gods, thank you, hammy God. So man, when I tell you I fought hard for these legs, man, and a lot of times, even today, with that video you pulled up earlier, working with the client, I don't realize a lot of times, like, the package that I had. So when I saw that, I was like, damn, girl, you got some legs, especially, and I ain't saying they all that and they the best and top of the line, but I'm saying from where I came from to what it is now, man, it is night and day. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing is that it's when it comes to sport, you have to really be smart about when you're training. You don't want to be too big, especially in the bikini division. That's why the Queen Fit model, because the girls now are looking like maybe women's bodybuilding in the early days in the 80s. If you look at the girls in figure, they're getting about as big as girls in physique, and physique competitors are getting big as women's bodybuilding. It's the evolution of every athlete as they grow.
Yeah.
And also you have to find that right thing. And almost every bodybuilder hates leg day. I had a few who say they love it, and I call them, you sick, maniacal freak. Who loves leg day? It's like, remember the episode of Chappelle's Show when Charlie Murphy True Hard Story about Rick James? And that part where they go back to Eddie's house, and Rick is like, F your couch, Eddie Murphy, F your couch. And then Eddie and Charlie beats Rick's legs. That's like, you feel like Eddie Murphy and Charlie Murphy are beating your legs, saying, "What my legs, Eddie Murphy? You should never give y'all niggas money."
That's
But
great.
that is a thing. It's the way it helps how you grow and develop. And also, as a bikini competitor, you're more like you want to maintain. You don't want to go past the level where you get so close to a figure division. But
You can't.
again,
And I seen it this past season where these women had amazing. So like, okay, so like when I first, like the second national show I did, there was this young woman, my age. She came in shredded. She was shredded. She was phenomenal, and she's a pro today. She's doing really well. Shredded. She got a pro card. So I'm like, that criteria has changed, because now me and my coach, we pay attention to this stuff. We go back, we study women. I compare myself to the winners, even the ones who didn't place as high as me. I'm trying to see. So there was a lot of women who looked amazing, George, but they were shredded. You can see the striations. You can see they got like second and third call outs. So, the thing too, I always tell people, because everybody's like, you're a coach and you need a coach. Hell yeah. Because he has to figure out, that's his job, because I don't know. And I always used to say, I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know what they're looking for. You know what I mean? Every time I got second place, I don't know what they want. I don't know. But that's his job. But yes, bikini is very exact. So no, you don't want to be too big on top, and then your tie-ins now, they don't want severe tie-ins. They have to be there, but they have to be soft. Your glutes have to be round, you know what I mean? Like they don't want you shredded. They don't want these big arms. I mean, George, if I was to lift the way I normally lift on my arms, I've always had big arms, just big arms. Like, yeah, like, so it's just like, and even shoulders, like my traps come out. Like as soon as I start cutting, my traps be sick. I have pictures of that. I have to send you like one picture of it's. I look like a freak. Like holy crap. So, a good freak. The way you want to look. But you definitely had to dial down, and that's the other thing. We had to learn what it is they're looking for. Watch the other pros, watch the Olympians, and then for me. Shout out to Vanya Auguste. I don't know if I get her name right, but
she is the
close.
first Black woman to win the bikini division at the Honor Classic. Even though I'm not a fan of the Honor Classic because it kicked out women's bodybuilding, physique, and figure the last few years, but that was I posted on my hey, this is history because it's great to see someone of our color, of our hue, winning one of the biggest shows in the sport.
Yeah, she's my posing coach. And I will never leave her. She is phenomenal, and I'm proud that she is a friend. You know what I mean? So thank God I have her because she's a freaking Olympia. She's top 10 in the world, she won the Arnold. So I'm like, this girl knows. So whatever she tells me, whatever advice. And like the other thing that's beautiful, my coach knows her as well. They have worked together in tandem. My coach ain't one of those. If she says something or suggests something, he don't be all over here huffy or gruffy. He really is a knowledge seeker and be like, okay, great. That's good to know. I'm going to consider that. I'm going to do that. So I love how these two work together. And like, I knew the morning of my show that I turned pro when I got in front of her for my final check-in. And she was checking off the boxes and she was like, honey, the physique is there. Like, you got the physique. So I was like, oh, it was like, yes, I got the stamp of approval from Vanya. And that just really boosted me and gave. And I remember like getting off the phone with her and I was like, Sean, did you hear what she said? Like, she had never really said that. And she said, yo, honey, the physique is physiquing. And I'm just like, I was like, oh, baby. It's got to be my time. This has got to be the day, even though I wouldn't let myself. But like everything was on point that day, and I was freaking out because I have shorter hair. I've had long hair, but I had a situation with my hair where I had extreme breakage and I had to cut it. I did not have a choice because it was looking crazy in the back. I had lost a couple of clumps of hair. I went to my stylist. She was like, baby, I can't save it. Like, we have to cut it. She was like, we don't have to cut it so extreme. I can kind of hide some stuff, let you compete, and then you can come back and we can fix what we need to fix. So that was the other thing because, typically the judges, they want the hair, the cover, you know what I'm saying? The shoulders or whatever. They only want you to show the delts or whatever. So I was like, oh my God. And I just didn't want to wear a weave. I didn't want to wear a wig. So I'm like, I'm just going to go out here as me, 100% me. And if it's my time, it's my time. And with this little short hair, I got my pro card because my whole back was exposed. I mean, it was a little longer because of the shrinkage, but so like I said, so many great things. I'm so blessed about so many things. Like, God was really with me. Everything just aligned that day. Makeup artist on point, everything tan on point, everything just on point. You know what I mean? But I was still having problems. I was having problems with my eczema and I'm itching every day because I'm like, oh my God, when I put this tan on, is it going to make me itch? Like, you know what I mean? I had severe dandruff. It was a lot of shit. I've never had dandruff in my life. All of a sudden now I had dandruff. And then my doctor's like, well, are you stressed? Dude, what? Am I stressed? Yeah. So and all that shit has subsided now. But when I tell you the problems versus the things that went well, it all came together. And here I am as a pro. It's just incredible. And this is all the things that I think of in my private moments. Like, crazy. I don't eat fish, George. That was the biggest thing. I hate fish.
I don't like fish either.
I don't like the way it smells. I don't like the way it tastes. For me, one of my best friends, hey Chris, is a personal chef, a big time chef. This man cooked me different fishes, different ways with different seasons, different sauces. Couldn't get it down. I really tried. So that was the other thing I battled, because typically a lot of bodybuilders, they use fish to get lean. So I couldn't do that. So I'm using turkey. I was once allowed chicken, but nope, got that cut. So I'm strictly living on turkey. And guess what? I don't like it either, but I can tolerate it. I'm a beef girl. Give me beef. I'll eat beef all day, every day. So, I mean, these are the things when I say I have fought really hard, and I just did what was required and what was asked and tried not to complain. You know, I just did it. So I'm just, man, so grateful it happened sooner than later, because I'm like, oh my God, if I got to do this another year, Jesus, help me. But I was
Okay.
going to do it, but I'm glad I don't have to.
Yeah. Well, shout out to my man here, Brown Bald. He says, this is a great interview. Goes to show you age is not a factor. Also, he gives me a shout out, says, George, that was a funny Arnold impersonation. Oh, yeah, the Arnold, he's not like that. He said, it's Arnold now. He's slowing down now. He's getting older. And, it's just like, it's like things that have changed for me. I'm not a movie star like I used to be, and it's not a tumor. I can't do that anymore, but I stick it to the chopper. But yeah, I think that's amazing about what you did and how you strive. Food is also an important part of the process of a bodybuilder. I know the right diet, the right food, you just can't eat everything. Also, especially one thing I ask you ladies, I know it's part of, I'm a fat man, I like food. And every time I ask you, what was that thing that you desired the most, especially after your last show, after your last prep? You had the burger, but what was that else that you wanted that was like cravings?
I already mentioned it. If you were paying attention, what was the candy that I cheated with?
It was Twizzlers.
Twizzlers. So I am a Twizzler crackhead. Oh my God, that is kryptonite. And let me tell you something. After I won, people were sending me the big, like 5-pound tubs of Twizzlers. Man, that shit was going in days. Like, I wake up at night to go to the bathroom and will pop 1 or 2 Twizzlers in my mouth. When I tell you, everybody knows that my thing is Twizzlers. That's it.
So you tell me, you're like the Pookie of Twizzlers. It's calling my name, man. It's calling my name. It be calling me, man. That Twizzlers. You like the red ones, or you like you're like multicolored?
So my after bag of and we use some of it to carb up on. So like what I take to carb up on, so to speak, and after the show, peanut chews, Nutter Butters, Twizzlers. I like they're the Lifesaver jelly, the berry flavor. Those, there was a candy called, they're not making them anymore, but it was called Blocks, Lego Blocks. It's like a gummy candy. I had that. Oreo cookies, cashews. What do you call those chips? Oh my God, popcorners, the kettle flavor. That was all in my grab. Let me tell you something. My suitcase, like a quarter of it was packed with snacks. It was, and then we got to the airport. We exceeded. I took out the candy. The candy weighed on itself like 4 pounds. Oh my God! So yeah. So that's what I like to eat after a show. And a Pepsi. Love Pepsi. Pepsi is also love Pepsi, and I don't allow myself to have it often, because I used to, before bodybuilding, I was drinking Pepsi in the morning like you would drink orange juice or coffee, and all throughout the day. So I got rid of that bad habit years ago. But I typically will have a Pepsi right now in off season, once a week on my cheat day.
For me, I never was much for Pepsi. I don't drink most sodas like I used to. I used to like Sprite. That was my kind. I like Sprite. Coke. I know people like Coke like that. I like to drink iced tea. It's a Southern thing. You like to drink iced tea too.
Yeah,
but yeah, everybody has those things they love about food, and it helps you in the process. What?
That acid goes down and it burns, and then you get that big like burp. Like, oh my God. I'm just saying, George, I'm just keeping it real, but You
Hey,
know,
it's not everybody's cup of tea. That's
I
why.
love it. Yes, and then if I have a
Yeah.
couple of Twizzlers that I can eat too, ooh, girl, yes, heaven. I'm not calling you a girl. I'm just saying it like I was talking to a girlfriend. Girl,
Yeah. Certainly. I'm a
amazing.
man. I'm a
I know you.
man.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
so like I said, I got my Doc Holliday on there, man.
Yeah,
That's my man. Say like
I,
I remember my favorite movie is Tombstone, and that part when he says like Doc Holliday, you retired too? Say no, sir, I'm in my prime. But I understand it. I think everybody enjoys conversation with people and having the same interests and talking. Especially y'all women. Like I say, I worked around women for a long time. I worked in textiles with women. I
yeah,
worked in a strip club with women. That's what
yeah,
I mean, everybody likes to sit and have a good conversation. I think everybody feels when you feel comfortable with somebody, you really. That's why I enjoy doing my interviews because really, people really bring themselves out when they talk about themselves or talk about what they do in their lives. And it's good that you have even though he may not be as into it, but your son's there, he supports you. You got your man there, he supports you. And people got to understand that this is a sport that it takes a lot of work to get into. And if you're not that person who has that mentality, don't get involved in it. There's a lot of expense to it. There's a lot of work to it. There's a lot. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices, make choices. Because if you want to get in that stage, you want to become a pro, you want to go to Olympia, you have to invest in yourself more than anybody else. And sometimes, yes, it's a selfish sport, but then you still have people that support you,
yeah,
and it's great that you have that. I know when I have discussions with ladies, they tell me that it's something that really fuels their fire when they're on stage and what they do and they train, they work out, and when they are in peak week, they're tired, they're hungry, they're hangry, they're dehydrated, but when they get on that stage and they put on their tan, they get on their suits, and they're out there, and it's just euphoria. It's just something beautiful for them. And
it
then it's
is.
good that you have people out there supporting you, your man supporting you, he's clapping, that's my baby, that's my girl. And there's a guy next to him say, hey, yeah, she wouldn't be my girl. But hey, be quiet about that.
Yeah,
But one thing I think is sponsorship does help. Does help, fuel that dream for bodybuilders. You have
and
any sponsors?
I knew, what do I? Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to Core Champion. They are one of my main sponsors and the owner of the company. I'm actually the face. It's on my page if anybody's interested. It's a workout bar and it will kick your ass. And they sell a bunch of supplements. Huge supporter every year. And there's just so many other people. Trust. It's called Trust by Tony Jackson. The name of the clothing brand is a Christian clothing brand. Another huge supporter. And then just a plethora of family and friends. And I'm like, it's so crazy because I have a neighbor that lives right next door in the home next to me. She rents and we've been very friendly, but she hasn't lived there long. We haven't gotten to really know each other, just in coming and going. I know she owns a hair salon not too far from here. So she came home. I'm outside working in the yard a little bit and hey girl, hey, what's up? How you doing? She's like, oh, your yard looks nice. And I'm like, yeah, but I haven't really had a lot of time to invest in my yard just because I love landscaping. I love being in my yard. It's just one of the things that I like to do that relaxes me. So I'm like, yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to do it because I've been competing all summer. And she's like, really? She was like, oh, I don't know if she knew that about me or not. And she was like, how'd you do? And I said, well, I turned pro in August. Again, I don't even know if she knew what that meant or not because she was like, oh, that's great. So what do you do next, or what's your next show or something? I said, she said, and I'm like, well, I won't be competing against till May. Now, what do you think she said? As a owner of a salon, can I sponsor you? Girl, what? Yes. And she was like, well, I would love to sponsor you, my salon. So when you're ready, seek me out and we'll do something. I'm like,
That's
what?
great.
I'm like, look, and I don't care if it's $25. I don't care what I mean, I've gotten excuse me, one more person, Dr. Carbone, who is a regular individual. He's a doctor of psychology, but damn it, he sent me some coins, okay? And they are sizable. So when I tell you that I don't care if it's $25, 500, every little bit counts. And I'm so appreciative of it all, because a jar of protein can cost $50. You know what I'm saying? And it's only gonna last me a week if I'm lucky. So yeah, so that's just crazy. So one thing about me, I love to talk. Can you tell, y'all? I love to talk. This is me. This ain't no air. This ain't no bullshit. I'm very transparent with anybody that knows me. I love to network. I love to meet people, talk to people. This is just my personality 24/7. Either you love it or you don't, but there's no airs. These people are like, you're too nice, you're too friendly, but I'm like, I'm just happy. I've been blessed. I have a good life. You know what I mean? I live in a decent home. I have a great business. I have beautiful family and friends. What the hell is there to be mad about? And, especially in this world is crazy. I'm so upset about a lot of things, like I'm sure we all are, no matter what political affiliation you're on. But my thing is, this is my world. I protect my peace. And this is what I enjoy. This is how I protect my peace, stay happy, and just try to live every day to the fullest, because tomorrow is not promised. So I go hard every day while I can. So this is me.
Well, that's good. It's good that you have these people that sponsor you, support you. You got a new sponsor who want to. It's important that if I could do this, I wish I could do it. I wish I had the means to do it. I would love to sponsor competitors. I love to help them out. That's why I reach out to these interviews, because
But
you never
this
know,
is right.
somebody might watch this and maybe get the idea. But if I could do this, this is my plan. I would reach out and say, Mrs. Martin, your story about how you got into sport, your passion, your personality is just something that's amazing. So I'm running a company, and we are interested in sponsoring athletes. We will happy to contract you as a brand ambassador. We can take care of things you might need. It has to. You have to understand, if it's a product that you feel like you can use in your process, and it can help you, make your gains as you train, you travel. We're happy to help you on that, but it has to be a very equitable partnership. So if you feel like there's something you might be interested in, let us know. We're happy to help you out, and we want to see you grow as an athlete. So would you be interested in something like that?
Yes, that's basically how it goes. Yeah.
All right. And it's like, sign the contract, baby. But but yeah. But yeah, I think everybody finds what they want out of the sport. Be it was something like a lady told me, because they're going through things like mental, physical abuse, being former athletes, and finding that they want something outside of themselves that just really inspires them. Like, or we were talking earlier about, who do you really, as you see as a competitor, that really inspires you as a bodybuilder?
Me? So I've already mentioned her, like Vanya, Auguste, and basically I love all the curly haired, brown skinned women in the sport. I love Jordan. I think she is the most beautiful. I love Jazzy. I've actually met these women. Jazzy was actually too my opposing coach for a short time, but she took some time off because she was having some mental health issues. So she took a couple of years off. She came back blazing because she tore it up. Third in the Olympia this year. She won Prague and she won somewhere in Europe. So and then why can't I remember her name? I'm so sorry. Phoebe. I love Phoebe. All these girls are Olympians, and Phoebe kind of, I think her physique fell off a little bit for whatever reason, change of coaches. So I believe she's taking some time off, and I know she'll be back stronger than ever. But these are the girls, that I absolutely love and adore as a brown woman, you know what I mean? And the curly hair girls, because I wasn't a curly hair girl when I started this sport. I was a straight hair girl. And these girls gave me the courage to go natural and just be my natural curly self. And I found out the judges really like it in the process. And I also think, the physique has to speak for itself. But I think, when your face is framed with beautiful curls, that helps you stand out. You know what I mean? So, which is why I wore black this year, because I wanted to stand out, because I knew finally I had built the physique. So I'm like, we just coming with everything, dog.
Yeah.
But there's other women that inspire me too. white, black, brown, Asian. I have a plethora of them, but these are the girls that I hold closest and dearest to my heart. And I've really watched their journey and know their stories. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Jasmine Gonzalez. I interviewed her client Chantel. She's a client of hers. She's also currently here, Latina. She's Dominican. I might send you a link. You might check her out. You might want to hook up because she also is an actress.
Okay.
But yeah, everybody finds that person that inspires them. Like that's why I'm a fan of. That's why I'm a fan of Andrea Shaw. She's just a beautiful woman, amazing physique.
Yeah, I hope I get to meet her one day because I just love her energy. I heard she's a beautiful person. I heard she's very, very friendly. And I just want to be able to get in front of that work of art and be like, girl, you already know, but you are freaking like incredible. So she inspires me too. I look at her and I'm inspired, but of course that's a whole different arena, one that I will never reach. But I understand, like we talked before, the work ethic and all the time that is put into this sport. And I know this woman has probably had a lot of dark days and pain and all that stuff. So, but man, that is a beautiful woman. You know what I mean? And like I said, her posing is immaculate. She's pretty. You know what I mean? Because usually a lot of these men, when they talk about, oh, she looks like a man, she sounds like a man. You know what I mean? But she's just, I don't know. Not that these other women are, because I go hard for all the women bodybuilders. Like, I don't put up with that shit. You're not gonna be in front of me talking shit about no bodybuilder that has accomplished what these women have accomplished. I don't care if she does sound like a man. And I'm like, usually the biggest critics are the ones that are sitting on the freaking couch. You know what I mean? So just shut your freaking mouth, because I'm annoyed. But I just think she is absolutely beautiful. So, and I'm so proud of her.
That's why she's my girlfriend. But
Yeah.
like I said, folks, this is a great lady. Her story, her history is just something that will inspire. You can be somebody 50 years old, 40 years old, 60 years old. If you want to get in sport, you have to be understanding, you have to be determined, you have to be passionate, you have to be persistent, you have to be disciplined. It's not easy, but if anything worth having, it's never easy. So again, we're not going to hold it much too longer. I'm going to ask you this last question.
Yes.
What would you want for yourself in the future as a bodybuilder?
So my only hope at this point is to have more growth. I'm always trying to push. Yeah, I still have more work to do. Definitely looking forward to building more muscle and what next season brings, because again, we still going hard. Because now I'm on a bigger stage with women who are pros, who a lot of them have already kicked my butt. So I'm coming back with some vengeance and some determination. But, what I want to see, I just would love to, my future, if I could have it my way, be able to coach other athletes, be an inspiration to many women, especially at this age of over 50, because years ago, when I was younger in my 30s or whatever, and I was looking at 50-year-olds, it's like, yeah, your life is pretty much over. Or I just remember my mother and my grandmother, like, they didn't do the things that 50-year-olds were doing today. Like, my mother was actually home on the weekends knitting at 50 years old. So she just always gave me the impression, like, once you hit 50, shit, life is over. Because what are you doing, girl? You know what I mean? But that is not the case. So my thing is, I'm just really excited about my future. I'm excited about competing as a pro. I'm excited to hopefully coach other athletes and just continue to grow within me, mind, body, soul, my business as a competitor. And if God says I can get to the Masters Olympia, shit, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So I have no limitations. I don't put myself in a box. I just work hard. And my expression is like, what will be, will be. And if it will happen, it's going to happen in God's timing. So I'm just enjoying the ride, because this, I told you, none of this was planned for me. This is not something that I set out to do. This just all happened within the last few years. So I'm just grateful for all of it. And I'm really anxious to compete as a pro, to see where I stack up against the other pros. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm really excited about it. Will I be upper echelon or, well, once again, I'd be at the bottom. So I'm even toying with, do you want to do open? And I know a lot of over 50s, they don't expect much, but they do it just to see where they rate. We'll determine that, once I start cutting and what I look like. But yeah, so I'm just excited about it all, George. You know what I mean? And to be here living healthy, able, you know what I mean? I don't take life for granted. I live every day to the fullest. I try to remain as happy, as peaceful, and as loving as I can. And that's it for me.
All right, that's pretty good because you know what, you should live your life for you, nobody else. And your boy's grown. You got a man support you. You got people that stand by you. That is important for you, for anybody, and also
Yeah.
important for your mindset. Find your way, find your path, and you can do a lot. And also, as an open competitor, hey, you can just you don't have to pay to play. You can just go on the show, sign a contract, and that's it. As a master, you got to pay to play.
Part. Oh my God. Oh my God. That
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. So, like I said, we do appreciate your time she gave us here, and we all wish you best of
Yeah.
luck next coming
Thank
year.
you everyone for tuning in and listening to little old me. Appreciate you, George, and appreciate all your listeners.
Yeah. Well, let's say this is my favorite quotes from my favorite movie, Batman Begins, at the end, where Jim Gordon says to Batman, "I forgot to thank you." He says, "You never have to." So, you have anybody want to shout out before we let you go?
Me, shout out.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to shout out everybody who has tuned in and listened and spent their time listening to my story. Thank you so much. Please follow me on social media. I'll follow you back. Of course, I want to shout out my guy, my man, my coach, the one who allows me to shine every day, who never dims my light, Sean Gibson. I would not be pro. I would not be pro if it was not for him, because the coach I left, that's another show. To this right here, oh my God. And I just want to shout out. There's so many people I could shout out. I always shout out Vanya because she was instrumental in my development in this posing. Let me shout out my girlfriend Regine, who is an amateur trying to get her pro card, but she's coming and she has helped me with posing. My girlfriend Gina, who you're going to interview, and just all of my friends. I have a small core of friends. My friends never change. I'm one of those. I have this core. They're very special. We're called the crew. My crew knows who they are. I love you and appreciate you greatly. And just my town, city of Trenton, and my township of Ewing. I just appreciate all the love and support. And I just hope you'll stay tuned for the next journey, because we going to bring some more heat. I know that.
Well, I appreciate the time you giving me. I give a shout out to my guests out here, my man Brown Baldy, Dorian Hamer, also the great benefactor. Who anybody who watched this video, follow, subscribe. The links if you want to follow Nacone is in the description of this live.
Hey George, I want to shout out one more person.
Go
I
ahead.
mentioned her earlier. She is my cousin and my partner, Kenya Gilliam. I love you. She also has been a huge motivator. She has competed in wellness. We run our studio together. She has taught me so much within life and business, because I'm the stubborn one. She's taught me how to have conversations, those difficult conversations. So I really appreciate and love you, Kenya. And of course, my cousin, please look him up and follow him. IFBB Pro, Kevin White, my inspiration, my cousin, and who I call my baby brother. So he is the main reason why I wanted to do this. So that's it. Thank you, George. I'm so sorry.
Well, I got one. No, don't apologize. So proud and happy for you, girl. It's unedited Billy T. Maybe somebody knows you. I don't know. But I do appreciate your opportunity. I wish you all the best. Like, you can't forget your boy. Can't forget your boy. You got to remember him, because that's you're his mother, and you're his woman. But
Of course,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
Chad. Yes, Chad
yeah,
Martin. Thank you,
yeah.
son. I appreciate you. But I didn't, because like I said, my son's very quiet, laid back. He don't care about him.
Forget about him. Shut the
But
boy up.
he
Forget
knows
about
how much
him.
I feel about him.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. You're like I said, my mother was my woman. I love her. I miss her, and
Yeah.
every day I do this. Why I do this. So,
So
folks, it's said again. If you want to follow Nacone, The links in the description of this live. If you're interested in maybe working with her as a coach, if you're a competitor or just a lifestyle, reach out to you. If someone wants to sponsor an athlete, reach out in genuine interest, guys. I keep saying, you guys, no weird shit. You get more with silk glove than an iron fist. I know what you're doing with that iron fist. So thank you again, ma'am. I wish you all the best in your future.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right, folks, it's your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Good night, good luck, and God bless.